Sahih al-Bukhari Kafalah. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Muhammad peace be upon him bin Amr al-Aslami that his father Hamza said, Umar, sent him, that is Hamza, as a sadaqah, zakat collector. A man had committed illegal sexual intercourse with the slave girl of his wife. Hamza took, personal, sureties for the adulterer till they came to Umar. Umar had lashed the adulterer 100 lashes. Umar confirmed their claim, that the adulterer had already been punished, and excused him because of being ignorant. Jarir al-Ashith said to Ibn Masud regarding renegades, that is, those who became infidels after embracing Islam. Let them repent and take, personal, sureties for them. They repented and their relatives stood sureties for them. According to Hamad, if somebody stands surety for another person and that person dies, the person giving surety will be released from responsibility. According to al-Hakam, his responsibilities continues. Sahih al-Bukhari 2290 reference 39 Hadith 1. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, an Israeli man asked another Israeli to lend him 1,000 dinars. The second man required witnesses. The former replied, Allah is sufficient as a witness. The second said, I want a surety. The former replied, Allah is sufficient as a surety. The second said, you are right, and lent him the money for a certain period. The debtor went across the sea. When he finished his job, he searched for a conveyance so that he might reach in time for the repayment of the debt, but he could not find any. So, he took a piece of wood and made a hole in it, inserted in it 1,000 dinars and a letter to the lender and then closed, that is sealed, the hole tightly. He took the piece of wood to the sea and said, O Allah, you know well that I took a loan of 1,000 dinars from so and so. He demanded a surety from me, but I told him that Allah's guarantee was sufficient and he accepted your guarantee. He then asked for a witness and I told him that Allah. Sahih al-Bukhari 2291 reference 39 Hadith 2. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah was sufficient as a witness, and he accepted you as a witness. No doubt, I tried hard to find a conveyance so that I could pay his money but could not find, so I hand over this money to you. Saying that, he threw the piece of wood into the sea till it went out far into it, and then he went away. Meanwhile he started searching for a conveyance in order to reach the creditor's country. One day the lender came out of his house to see whether a ship had arrived bringing his money, and all of a sudden he saw the piece of wood in which his money had been deposited. He took it home to use for fire. When he sawed it, he found his money and the letter inside it. Shortly after that, the debtor came bringing 1,000 dinars to him and said, By Allah, I had been trying hard to get a boat so that I could bring you your money, but failed to get one before the one I have come by. The lender asked, Have you sent something to me? The debtor replied, I have told you I could not get a boat other than Sahih al-Bukhari 2291 reference 39 Hadith 2. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah the one I have come by. The lender said, Allah has delivered on your behalf the money you sent in the piece of wood. So, you may keep your 1,000 dinars and depart guided on the right path. Sahih al-Bukhari 2291 reference 39 Hadith 2. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Sa'id bin Jubair. Ibn Abbas said, in the verse, To everyone we have appointed. Mawaliya means ones. Heirs. 4.33. And regarding the verse, and those with whom your right hands have made a pledge. Ibn Abbas said, when the emigrants came to the Prophet in Medina, the emigrant would inherit the Ansari while the latter's relatives would not inherit him because of the bond of brotherhood which the Prophet established between them. That is the emigrants and the Ansar. When the verse, And to everyone we have appointed heirs. 4.33 was revealed. It cancelled the bond, the pledge, of brotherhood regarding inheritance. Then he said, the verse, to those also to whom your right hands have pledged, remained valid regarding cooperation and mutual advice, while the matter of inheritance was excluded and it became permissible to assign something in one's testament to the person who had the right of inheriting before. Sahih al-Bukhari 2292 reference 39 Hadith 3. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Anas. Abdurrahman bin Auf came to us and Allah's Messenger established a bond of brotherhood between him and Sa'di bin Rabi'ah. Sahih al-Bukhari 2293 reference 39 Hadith 4. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Asim. I heard Anas bin Malik, have you ever heard that the Prophet said, there is no alliance in Islam? He replied, the Prophet made alliance between Quraysh and the Ansar in my house. Sahih al-Bukhari 2294 reference 39 Hadith 5. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Salama bin al-Aqwa. A dead person was brought to the Prophet so that he might lead the funeral prayer for him. He asked, is he in debt? When the people replied in the negative, he led the funeral prayer. Another dead person was brought and he asked, is he in debt? They said, yes. He refused to lead the prayer and said, lead the prayer of your friend. Abu Qatada said, O Allah's Messenger, I undertake to pay his debt. Allah's Messenger then led his funeral prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 2295 reference 39 Hadith 6. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Habir bin Abdullah. Once the Prophet said, to me, if the money of Bahrain comes, I will give you a certain amount of it. The Prophet had breathed his last before the money of Bahrain arrived. When the money of Bahrain reached, Abu Bakr announced, whoever was promised by the Prophet should come to us. I went to Abu Bakr and said, the Prophet promised me so and so. Abu Bakr gave me a handful of coins and when I counted them, they were 500 in number. Abu Bakr then said, take twice the amount you have taken, besides. Sahih al-Bukhari 2296 reference 39 Hadith 7. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Aisha sad face. Wife of the Prophet, since I reached the age when I could remember things, I have seen my parents worshipping according to the right faith of Islam. Not a single day passed but Allah's Messenger visited us both in the morning and in the evening. When the Muslims were persecuted, Abu Bakr set out for Ethiopia as an emigrant. When he reached a place called Bark al-Gimad, he met Ibn ad-Dagna, the chief of the Kara tribe, who asked Abu Bakr, where are you going? Abu Bakr said, my people have turned me out of the country and I would like to tour the world and worship my Lord. Ibn ad-Dagna said, a man like you will not go out, nor will he be turned out as you help the poor earn their living, keep good relation with your kith and kin, help the disabled, or the dependents, provide guests with food and shelter, and help people during their troubles. I am your protector. So, go back and worship your Lord at your home. Ibn ad-Dagna went along with Abu Bakr and took him to the Sahih al-Bukhari 2297 reference 39 Hadith 8. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah chiefs of Quraysh saying to them, a man like Abu Bakr will not go out, nor will he be turned out. Do you turn out a man who helps the poor earn their living, keeps good relations with kith and kin, helps the disabled, provides guests with food and shelter, and helps the people during their troubles? So, Quraysh allowed Ibn ad-Dagna's guarantee of protection and told Abu Bakr that he was secure, and said to Ibn ad-Dagna, advise Abu Bakr to worship his Lord in his house and to pray and read what he liked and not to hurt us and not to do these things publicly, for we fear that our sons and women may follow him." Ibn ad-Dagna told Abu Bakr of all that, so Abu Bakr continued worshipping his Lord in his house and did not pray or recite Quran aloud except in his house. Later on, Abu Bakr had an idea of building a mosque in the courtyard of his house. He fulfilled that idea and started praying and reciting Quran there publicly. The women and the offspring of the pagans started gathering around. Sahih al-Bukhari 2297 reference 39 Hadith 8. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah him and looking at him astonishingly. Abu Bakr was a soft-hearted person and could not help weeping while reciting Quran. This horrified the pagan chiefs of Quraysh. They sent for Ibn ad-Dagna, and when he came, they said, "We have given Abu Bakr protection on condition that he will worship his Lord in his house, but he has transgressed that condition and has built a mosque in the courtyard of his house and offered his prayer and recited Quran in public. We are afraid lest he mislead our women and offspring. So, go to him and tell him that if he wishes he can worship his Lord in his house only, and if not, then tell him to return your pledge of protection, as we do not like to betray you by revoking your pledge, nor can we tolerate Abu Bakr's public declaration of Islam, his worshipping." Aisha added, Ibn ad-Dagna came to Abu Bakr and said, "You know the conditions on which I gave you protection, so you should either abide by those conditions or revoke my protection, as I do not like to." Sahih al-Bukhari 2297 reference 39 Hadith 8. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah. Hear the Arabs saying that Ibn ad-Dagna gave the pledge of protection to a person and his people did not respect it. Abu Bakr said, "I revoke your pledge of protection and am satisfied with Allah's protection." At that time Allah's Messenger was still in Mecca, and he said to his companions, "Your place of emigration has been shown to me. I have seen salty land, planted with date palms and situated between two mountains, which are the two Hiras." So, when the Prophet told it, some of the companions migrated to Medina, and some of those who had migrated to Ethiopia returned to Medina. When Abu Bakr prepared for emigration, Allah's Messenger said to him, "Wait, for I expect to be permitted to emigrate." Abu Bakr asked, "May my father be sacrificed for your sake, do you really expect that?" Allah's Messenger replied in the affirmative. So, Abu Bakr postponed his departure in order to accompany Allah's Messenger and fed 2 camels which he had, with the leaves of samur trees for 4 months. Sahih al-Bukhari 2297 reference 39 Hadith 8. Sahih al-Bukhari, Kafalah narrated Abu Huraira, whenever a dead man in debt was brought to Allah's Messenger, he would ask, "Has he left anything to repay his debt?" If he was informed that he had left something to repay his debts, he would offer his funeral prayer. Otherwise he would tell the Muslims to offer their friends funeral prayer. When Allah made the Prophet wealthy through conquests, he said, "I am more rightful than other believers to be the guardian of the believers, so if a Muslim dies while in debt, I am responsible for the repayment of his debt, and whoever leaves wealth, after his death, it will belong to his heirs." Sahih al-Bukhari 2298 reference 39 Hadith 9.